In week 15, we covered interactivity in Animate. Now, we were working in ActionScript. Now, if you're working for a website that does not support Flash, obviously you'll use HTML5 Canvas. But for this tutorial, we'll be using ActionScript. So we'll start off by going to Templates, and then make this the size that I want. So I go to General, 1920 by 1080, 24 pixels, that's fine, hit OK. And then up here, I'm going to Fit to View. All right. So this first part of the tutorial will be on buttons, and the second part of the tutorial will be with the interactivity of the buttons. So I'm just going to do this quick and painless. I'm going to use my rectangle primitive tool and give it rounded edges there. Let's do 60. I'm just doing this without any reference point. Okay, that'll be the button. Fine. So this is what the first button's going to look like. Let me hit copy, paste that up, and this will be my second button. So I've got two things that are going to be buttons. This one's going to start off blue, and this one, here's my color, I'll have it start off red. So this will be a button, that will be a button. I select what's going to be the first button, right click, convert to symbol. Now, as I said before in week 14, there's three types of symbols. There's movie clips, which you can apply effects to, graphics, which you cannot apply effects to, and buttons. Every time you make a symbol, it'll be added to your library. So this first symbol, I'll call it home. Hit OK. So now I've got my button instance made for the home, and in properties, I need to give it a name for when we apply the script. So I'm going to call it home button. Sorry about the cough. And this next button this next thing we got to convert it to a symbol. So I right clicked after I selected it. It's going to be a button, and we'll call this demo. This will be for like the demo reel. And then up here, I'm going to name it demo button. Okay. Demo button is not a valid instance name. All right. Don't know why, so we'll call it demo like that. Ta-da. Now, both of these are symbols. You can see from the circle and the lines around it. And I'm going to make a new layer. So I've got my layer here. This first layer will be for the demo button only, and the second layer, so I'm going to hit right click, I'm going to hit cut. We'll choose the layer above it, edit, paste in place. So now when I select this layer, you'll see it selects the home button, and this layer selects the demo button. So I'm going to call this home button, and I'll call this one demo button. I'm just double clicking to name it. All right, so they're each on their own layer. Now we add the button state. So I double click on each individual one to open up its own timeline. Symbols have their own timeline, like movies. You can add multiple things, but for buttons, there's four states: up, over when the mouse overs it, down when you press down, and hit is the size of the area that will be affected by the mouse. So here's my up state. I'm going to add some text to it. I'll call this one home. Comic Sans is perfect. This is the greatest font and should be used whenever possible. And that's sarcasm. So I'll leave that there. And let's just make it black text. All right. That's my home text. So now, when I move over to the over state, right click inside it, and insert a keyframe, I've got the button and the text. So I'm going to select the button. I'm going to change the color for the mouse over. So let's do that. So now it's going light, dark on the mouse over. How about I select this and make it white just so the font changes on the mouse over, so you can still have it legible. So this is the up, that's the mouse over, down, when I right click in that and hit insert keyframe, it's going to select both of them. How about the down, we make it gray? Like that. And hit, I'm going to right click, insert keyframe. Hit is just the area that the button affects right there. So I'm going to remove my text in the hit just so it's inside this area because the text box was going out. To get back to my main scene, I can hit the arrow or click the scene button. This is my home button timeline. So now I do the same thing for the demo button. I double click it. Now I'm in the demo button timeline. So I'm going to, yet again, sorry about the cough. Winter is upon us. Line this up right here. And I'm going to make it white. So now when I click in the over state, right click, insert keyframe, and I change the button color. So right now it's red. Let's make it a little bit purplish. Then the down, I'm going to right click, insert keyframe, select the button part, the button shape. Down will be dark gray. Then hit, I'm going to right click, insert keyframe. I'm just going to remove the text so that there's no confusion. This shape right here will be what is live on the mouse. So now I can click my scene or the back arrow to go back. And this is what I've got. Now remember, since both of these have their own timelines, I need to preview them. So if I hit Command Enter, I get my test screen. So now when I mouse over, that changes. That changes. That's working. So now when I click down, it goes to gray. And I click down, it goes to gray. The first part is now working. We've got our buttons. And the next part will be adding the interactivity from scene to scene in the timeline.